On this week's episode, can Nintendo strike it rich again with Pokemon? Has Ubisoft returned to its bad habits? And what truly is the worst idea right now in pop culture? All this and more as we once again delve into the pop culture cosmos. The pop culture cosmos. And we're back with another edition of the Pop Culture Cosmos. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate you tuning in each and every week to all of our great shows. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without my good friend. He is right here with us right now. He is the legend of Humanica Media. You gotta check out all the great things that he's doing today with Humanica Media at their home site, humanicamedia.com, their YouTube channel, and all their great podcasting channels. Is my good friend. It is Josh Peterson. What's up, man?
Hey, your titles are just getting better and better here. I feel like it should be the legacy of Humanica Media because I like to think that this is actually just the prequel to something greater, kind of like a solo Star Wars story, but this would just be called Peterson, a Humanica Media story.
Give it to next week, man. We'll see what we can do. But it is going to be a great episode we got for you today. We've got so much to talk about, but also we have Rob McCallum coming up in the Cosmic Crossfire. He's going to talk about what I know this is not the most proper English here, but worstest idea right now going on in pop culture. Plus, later on, we've got Jessica Boggs and Out of Curiosity from the TV Ratings Guide. They're stopping by to talk about some of the other networks and what they're planning for later this year, and also some of the stuff that they canceled that may or may not have agreed with them. They're going to share their thoughts on that. Plus, we're going to be talking some Ubisoft, Nintendo, and we're going to be talking about a lot more. But first, Josh, before we go ahead and talk about our first subject, I want to give a shout out to the guys from The Voice from the Underground, TJ, Big Haas, and Dutch. Thank them so much for allowing me to be again on their program. If you want to check out their great podcast, check it out today. Well, after our show, of course. Voice from the Underground, the podcast. It's on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and so many other different outlets. We talked about everything from the Kardashians to the White House to politics to the NBA Finals to so many other different avenues. It's almost 2 hours long, but it was a great conversation that we had. A lot of varying opinions and a lot of good things that were talked about. So catch it today, Voice from the Underground, the podcast. Josh, I know you had a major interview with Mayfield, so just let us know a little bit more about your interview with the guys and why they need to check it out on your Humanica Media site.
Yeah, the dudes from Mayfield are friends from Canada. Yeah, they're cool dudes. They're kind of telling me a little bit of stories about like what goes into being an indie band in this climate and how they're kind of fighting to keep the genre of the melodic hardcore, post-hardcore, the hardcore genre in general alive. And they're, everything they've done has been independently funded, and it turns out that they're huge hockey fans and they also hate the Ducks. So we found a lot of common ground there.
But I don't dislike where they play. I really like the Anaheim Pond. That's a great place to go watch a game.
Yeah, it is. I'll give you that. But yeah, no, the interview's up on Humanica Media, it's up on Topicocalypse. You can check that out. Just go into iTunes with Topicocalypse. It'll be up on Pop Culture Cosmos here soon. But yeah, no, check it out. And they're from Canada. They're a melodic hardcore band. We'll play some of their music here. Are we playing one of their songs here in this app?
I'll play a little bit going out as far as that right before we go to our first break. We'll go ahead and play a little bit of one of their latest songs and check that out. I know every time I do so, I get like the bots come out at night. It's like the bots come out at night and try to slap the copyright. The bots come out at night and slap that copyright when on YouTube. So I tell you what. We'll do it for you. We'll play some a few seconds from one of their biggest hits later on in the broadcast. And like I said, like I said earlier, if you want to check out if you want to check out Josh's interview with the guys from Mayfield, check it out today on Topicocalypse and their great channel. So.
Yeah, and if you get a chance to check out their music on iTunes, because they're independently funded, so they pay for everything themselves, and it's a lot of work to do, and they've been at this since 2012, I want to say. So, buy one of their songs for 99 cents. Every dollar, $1.29, however much it costs on iTunes, helps them with their musical journey, and these guys are very talented.
Yes, they are, and you want to go ahead and check them out on the Dreambound. Yes, that's right. That's right, and you want to check out. Yes, that's right, and you want to check them out today on the Dreambound channel on YouTube. But we've got a lot of great stuff to talk about, and I know we talked about on our last episode on the PCC Multiverse all the great things going on that we've seen and some of the not so great things that we've seen, experienced, played, and also just truly talked about in the first 6 months of 2018 when it comes to pop culture. But we've still got 6 more months to go in 2018, and there's a lot of great stuff to look forward to. And one of the things I wanted to go ahead and do is single out 5 great pop culture things that we wanted to go ahead and highlight that we're looking forward to. Maybe it's a product, maybe it's a story, maybe it's an item, maybe it's a trend that we think you need to also be aware of for the rest of 2018. So, Josh, I will go ahead and let you start off first. What are your top 5 things that you're interested in that you're going to be looking out for the rest of 2018 when it comes to pop culture?
I think 2 of these things we're going to talk about at a later date, but first on my list here, I got Pokemon on Nintendo Switch. We're going to talk about that later on the show. Ant-Man and Wasp, that's the first post-pre, I guess, Infinity War film. So I'm hoping that'll clear up some gaps here. E3 2018, which is coming up not this week but next week. Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald, or Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. I'm looking forward to. Want to see that, and also Project Octopath Traveler looks amazing. So I'm very excited to play that when it comes out on the Nintendo Switch. What?
Oh, you usually set it up for me. What are you looking for?
Hey, Gerald. I'm sorry. I thought you were like wanting me to say more. I'm like, you said 5. But hey, Gerald, what are you looking forward to in 2018?
Funny you should ask that, my friend. I will say this: it's a great time to be involved with everything pop culture. As a fan of either television, video games, music, sci-fi, comic books, the whole gambit, because there's always something out there that's going to interest you. And there's always going to be something out there that's always worth talking about. I'm going to say for me, and this is in no particular order, but just some of the things that I'm going to be looking forward to. First off, I don't want to say Incredibles 2. I'm very excited for that movie, but I don't want to put that right in that mix because we're going to be talking about that on our Friday program. So I'll start off with another movie that is expected to really shake it up at the box office. Whether it's going to be for bad or for good, we don't know yet. But Mission Impossible Fallout is coming here in the not too distant future, and I'm really looking forward to that because I tell you what, trailers often hook me or they bounce me away. Check our thoughts out on the Venom trailer, and you'll see I've already just signed and pretty much signed off on that movie that I will not be seeing it, at least unless there's just like a total reversal. The new Predators movie has just been awful with its trailer, and I just cannot say enough how bad it looks. But Mission Impossible, we've already been around this deal quite a few times when it comes to the Mission Impossible series, but each and every time, it still gives me those trailers that keeps on giving me that hook and just like a fish just sucks me right into the movie theater. And I'll tell you what, it really just is so enticing as far as a movie to watch because Gotta love the action. You know, say what you will about Tom Cruise, about all the other things that is Tom Cruise as an actor, his movies, the whole nine yards. But his Mission Impossible movies, he seems to, for the most part, really get right. What are your thoughts on Mission Impossible Fallout, Josh? Because I'm really excited for this one. Even with Henry Cavill's mustache, it still looks like it's really going to be a can't miss movie this summer.
I feel like Henry Cavill's mustache has gotten so much publicity that it needs its own part in the credits, like its own actor credit.
I bet you it has its own Twitter account already.
That would not surprise me, sadly. But no, I mean, these movies, like I haven't truly enjoyed a Mission Impossible movie since Ghost Protocol, and that was no, not Ghost Protocol. Right? What was the third one called?
I will look for you. Dead Time.
But yeah, so like I have not been excited about a mission. I haven't enjoyed a Mission Impossible movie since the third one. I watched the others, but they were just movies I watched because I was bored. It wasn't really something I was keen.
The third one is actually MI3.
Oh, really? Okay, well, that's the last one. That was the one with Dustin Hoffman. That was a really good movie. But the other ones that they're cool. They're just not movies that I come out of going, man, I really wish they're gonna make another one of those. It's something I watch because I'm bored. And I know that you really like them, but it's to me, it's kind of become like the Fast and the Furious. It's just, over the top action scenes, a lot of fight stuff, not really much character development because you know that they're going to be making another one.
Like I said, for me, it's giving me the hook. I don't know why I'm still watching them, but I still am. It still looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I think they're much more highly entertaining than the Fast and Furious series. And I've seen all the movies from the Fast and Furious series. I don't know why, but eventually they show up on television, or even I've seen a few at the theaters. But
that's now preserved on the internet for everybody to see, to hear.
Wow.
Actually, I saw them too, so we're both guilty.
Yeah, exactly. They're just out there. You just see some cars run, and boom, there you go. But those are over the top ridiculousness, even more so than the Mission Impossible series. I will say that. But for me, the Mission Impossible series has been something I've looked forward to each and every time. It's been a guilty pleasure, but I truly enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to Mission Impossible Fallout. When it comes to theaters, let me see. When Mission Impossible comes to theaters, July 27th. Definitely looking forward to that movie. Number 2 on my list right now, and like I said, this is no priority order. It's you could put any one of them 1 or any one of them 5. Doesn't really matter to me. Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm going to see. I'm really curious to see what the response will be, both critically and popularity-wise. I think it's going to knock it out of the park, personally. Rockstar doesn't put out a game that it's going to be. Rockstar doesn't put out a game these days that's going to be short-handed. That's not going to be without a lot of options. That's going to be a game that's going to really just take it all as far as the whole experience. I mean, they hit a home run. They hit a grand slam with GTA 5, closing in on 100 million sales for that video game. One of the biggest video games ever in the history of this marketplace. So following it up with Red Dead Redemption 2, I cannot wait. I know it's something that you're even looking forward to playing as well, Josh, correct?
Yeah, I mean, not because I'm like super stoked about the game. I want to play it because it's supposed to be like this monument of video games. Like, it's all these, developers are afraid of releasing anything within even like a 2 or 3 month span of this. So if it's really going to be that good, like, I have to play it. I need to know if it's really that good. To me, God of War was worth all the hype, but will Red Dead Redemption be worth the hype? Who knows? I won't know until I get my hands on it.
But we will find out in the latter stages of October when it comes out. When it comes out, that's Red Dead Redemption 2. Looking forward to it. It's going to be hitting all the major. It's going to be hitting PS4 and Xbox One and the PC with a vengeance. That's for sure. What are they going to do with Rick Grimes? That's my number 3. like I've always said, I'm a casual fan of The Walking Dead. I come and go with the series depending on the storyline. I was really disappointed by last season's dull, non-Civil War ending that was supposed to be a big battle and ended up being like a dud. So I'm really not exactly thrilled with the series right now. And to hear Andrew Lincoln on the verge of checking out of the series in 6 episodes, that makes it even less attractive for me and a lot of other casual viewers to stay, because he, above all the other characters in the cast, personifies what The Walking Dead's all about, since he's obviously been there since day one. Anybody who is that important to the actual show and actual series, such as he is, if he leaves, you just can't replace him, and you really can't just continue on with the series in any discernible fashion unless you have somebody like that. And unfortunately, no matter how much money you're going to throw at any of the characters, whether it be Norma Reedus, Denai Guerrera, or anyone else, you're not going to be able to get that type of narrative that centers around one person after you've been concentrating on this character for 9 years now, seemingly. So
it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it is the beginning of the end. You're exactly right. Because also Laurie Cohan, who plays Maggie, she's a longtime character. She's going to be leaving in 6 episodes as well.
So a lot of publications I'm reading are saying like the show needs to end. Like they can't go on. They can't pull Supernatural and go on for like 16 seasons. It needs to end, because a lot of the rating not only have. This is weird because this is one of those shows where the ratings continually decrease each season, but the show keeps getting more funding. And I don't know why or how that's working, but
it's basically this, because it grew so fast and over the years. And about just 3 years ago, I think it had over 15 million viewers, I think, for its final episode, I think in 2015. And by the time the last episode happened, it cut that number in virtually half. But the thing is, you're still talking about 7.5 million viewers, which is substantially larger than almost any other show out there.
Right. So wouldn't you think it would be good to go out on top rather than keep beating it to death and hoping that 7.2 million viewers stays at 7.2 million viewers?
I agree with you 100%. I think it's time to shut the show down and call it a day. I love the beating to death analogy on that. That was pretty
really well, because
apropos. That's 2 weeks in a row, man. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Hey, I've been writing these down, man. I'm gonna hold on. Let me cross this off my whiteboard up here. No, okay. This is the what do they say? A healthy show runs for about 5 to 7 seasons usually.
Yes, unless you're CSI that just seemingly wanted to go ahead and continue forever, or NCIS at this point.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, this is one of those like serial type shows. So it needs to they need to just end it. We get it. The world was infested by zombies and you're just surviving. We get it. Just go out while you have the goodwill of the people.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more on that. And their sister show, Fear the Walking Dead, has never been able to attract anywhere near the audience. And I think that show, even if it was the only show in town with The Walking Dead leaving, I don't think many viewers would migrate over and make that a larger audience, in my personal opinion. I just think Fear the Walking Dead will never get its respect or due, because it's always thought of as the step down from the original series. And unfortunately, that's always been the case. So I think it's just time to end the Walking Dead series on both parts at this point in time, because with Andrew Lincoln and with Andrew Lincoln's impending departure, it just seems like it's a given that this should be once and for all the end of the Walking Dead. Number 4 for me is number 4 for me is the winter season when it comes to, the fall winter season when it comes to the movies, because you think about it now. This is the first fall or winter season in a little bit that we haven't had a Star Wars movie or a Marvel movie come out, because there's no iteration of each series coming this winter. So I ask you, Josh, there's going to be a lot of contenders to the throne there when it comes to the King of the
Fantastic
Winter.
Beasts, right? That's
Yeah, Fantastic Beasts. That seems to stick out. So is that your odds-on favorite right now to take the King of the Throne for this winter season in the movies?
yeah. I mean, it's the only one with really has the benefit of being part of a franchise, and it also has a lot of star power behind it. So I'm predicting big things. There's one other movie that's coming out in November that I was excited about, but I can't remember. Hold on, let me look it up.
There's Disney's there's Disney's The Nutcracker, and there's other stuff that's going to be coming around at that time that are of semi interest. And obviously, over those course of those weeks, we'll be reporting on it on a regular basis right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, but Josh,
It looks.
Didn't we go through this over already last year with King Arthur?
No. Well, you gotta salt the wound, man. No,
and then this is like another reiteration of Robin Hood. How many reiterations of Robin Hood do we need to understand? Do we need before we understand that this is just something that we don't need to seriously consider going to each and every decade? Because we've had one in the 90s.
This is the thing.
We've had one in the 2000s, and we've had one in this decade.
Here's the thing. I'm not expecting the movie to be good. I'm just expecting just a spectacle, you know. I don't this is one of those movies I'm not expecting anything out of it. I just want to go and be entertained and then just walk out of the theater being like, you know, I'm not really disappointed in that. Oh, also there's the girl in the spider's web. So hopefully that's because I really like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the one with Daniel Craig. So hopefully they do something cool with this.
I hope so as well, but it is going to be a somewhat different winter at the movies this year. But that could leave a door open or two for some independent movies, or for some smaller movies, or maybe some award season movies to get their just due in the spotlight ahead of time and not have to wait for any award season. And it could actually get a lot of play up front in October, November, December, because there's no big distractions per se outside of Fantastic Beasts, with no Star Wars or Marvel movie coming up. So that's one of the things that we're going to be tracking later on this year, is what will be the dominant movie or movies during the last 3 months of the year. And last but not least, can the Xbox One actually be a major force during this last half of 2018? So far to date, they're still lagging way behind as a number 3 unit right now in the console marketplace. And that's been the case for quite some time. I still think the Xbox One S is still the best value out there as far as a console is concerned. But, you know, that's just my opinion on it. Unfortunately, they have not had the library to back it up. So E3, I think next week is going to be very important for Xbox to see if it can go ahead and provide consumers with the reason to buy an Xbox One this summer, this fall, and this winter, because Nintendo and Sony, they're going to have some good things coming out for it, but nothing that's really going to shake up the world and give them a defiant singular reason why you need to specifically buy their console. I think if there's any point in time where the Xbox One can challenge marketplace, at least here in the US, I think it can be at the second half of this year. But they've got to start very soon, and they've got to start, you know, talking about great products and great projects coming out right away, and it's got to start right at E3 next week.
No, I completely agree. I think that E3, I mean, I would say they even have maybe a few weeks to a month after E3 to make some cool announcements. But yeah, it's really going to decide, you know, what gets announced this summer is going to decide how much the Xbox is going to sell in the fall, or if, you know, actually, I think even its place in the console race in general, I think that's going to kind of decide where it goes, what happens. The future is on the line, and you know, Phil Spencer knows that there's a lot at stake. So, you know, if we come out of E3 with another announcement about, you know, another Forza and maybe some upgrades and expansions or whatever, we need to keep just let them I'm sorry, I just lost my thought there.
I was just saying whoop-de-doo on that one.
Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, well, I mean, that was last year. That's what they were talking about. It's just you got a new Forza, you got some footage of a game that literally just came out last week, State of Decay 2, and then you got they're saying they're upgrading stuff to 4K. So if we have another E3 conference it's just nobody's going to care anymore because they already did the backwards compatible thing. And honestly, if Sony were to do backwards compatibility, that would kill a lot of Xbox momentum too. You know, the little momentum that they have. So yeah, this is going to be an important month for them.
Because the first half of the year has not been very good for them. Sea of Thieves has come out and has been lackluster, even though there was a great initial interest, and that's something that could have really taken off. There was a time in its first couple weeks where people were really excited for it, but they realized that the game does not have much in the way of substance at this point in time. So maybe a year or 2 years with some development and some add-ons, it'll be worth something, but by that time it'll be too late. Check No Man's Sky, for example. Then you have State of Decay 2, like you said, which just came out last week, but it's come out to dismal reviews and bad word of mouth. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be anything that Xbox One can put its hopes on. So I am looking forward to seeing what Xbox and Microsoft are going to have in store for Xbox One users and potential Xbox One buyers the second half of the year, and seeing if they can really compete on a level with PlayStation and Nintendo. Because if they cannot this year, then they never will. Because unfortunately, by that time, PlayStation 5 will be nearing, maybe even as early as 2020, maybe even late 2019. And Nintendo Switch will start to gear up with an even deeper library that they sorely need themselves. So I think that if there's any point in time for Xbox One to grab a good share of the marketplace, it's 2018. And, well, they got to do a lot more than what they're doing now. And hopefully we'll find out if they're going to do a lot more the second half of the year. What are your thoughts on the second half of 2018 when it comes to pop culture? Are you excited about certain things in the world of movies, television, video games, sci-fi, comic books, esports, regular sports, whatever in the realm of pop culture? Share us your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, popculturecosmos at popculturecosmos, Humanity Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. When we come back, we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to the TV ratings scene with our good friends at the TV Ratings Guide. And also as well, we've got the Cosmic Crossfire coming up right after that with our good friend Rob McCallum. And then we're going to be talking about also as well Nintendo coming up and Ubisoft as well. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. And we're back with the Pop Culture Cosmos. And we're back with the Pop Culture Cosmos. This is Gerald Glassford along with my good friend Josh Peterson. Just gotta let you know where to put it. Okay. Just gotta if you like our shows, just subscribe to our Pop Culture Cosmos channel. Let us know how we're doing with a 5-star review, or check us out on online radio stations 7 days a week, including our newest network, Matthew Richards Radio in the UK. And welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos channel. Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos. Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos family, by the way. We appreciate you allowing us on your network, and hopefully great things will come of it as well for your audience. Just want to also let you know, if you get a chance, or if you're looking for a great Father's Day gift, check out WheelieQ.com, because they have a great deal going on. And I'll tell you what, if you check it out today, they're running a great Father's Day sale for $22. That's right, just $22. You can get 2 bottles of their original recipe barbecue sauce. And I'm telling you, it is really tasty and it really goes well with hamburgers, chickens, just basically anything you put out there, meats, grilled stuff, anything that you put out there on it, anything you put out there on the grill, ribs, chicken, steaks, you name it, anything that barbecue sauce you put on it, this will do wonders for you, because 2 bottles of original recipe barbecue sauce, the tasty barbecue rub that they also have that you can pour on and just make sure it's just slabbered in there with all that good stuff going on the ribs, on your next set of ribs, and also their awesome seasoning. They will put all those together. That's 2 bottles of original recipe barbecue sauce, 1 barbecue rub, and 1 seasoning that will go, and 1 bottle of seasoning. They will put that together and ship it to you for $22 plus free shipping. And guess what? And not only that, you can actually get an additional 15% off if you use the promo code POD1. That's POD and the number 1. That's from us right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. You go ahead and you enter that promo code on checkout, and you'll get 15% off the $22 plus free shipping for their great Father's Day sale package. Check it out today on wheelieq.com. Josh, I know you got a great thing going on with Humanica Media, so give us the latest and greatest. Outside of that great Mayfield interview, what do you got going on at Humanica Media?
New episode of Topicocalypse dropping tomorrow morning, as well as two new Super BSs this week, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. So stay tuned for that. I think we're going back into Numenera again, so those are always fun episodes. But we're also back on the Podcast Radio Network, so as soon as I know more about that, you guys will know more about it too.
Their time, I think your time was Tuesdays. I think your time was every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, if the memory serves. And it'll be great to have you back on the air with the Attack of the Humanicans each week on Podcast Radio Network, and look for them at Humanica Media all over the place. Josh, I know you were excited to talk about Nintendo, because we talked about in the past that we were worried that Nintendo Switch was not going to have enough iconic titles or iconic, basically characters or anything really to stand behind outside of the Zelda and Mario franchises or anything relating to those 2 properties. But guess what? Their love for Pokemon remains strong. Obviously, it's been a big hit on mobile with Pokemon Go, but what they're doing now is they're going to be doing a lot of great things for Nintendo Switch owners, because coming in the next year and a half, first of all, they've got Pokemon Quest, which is a free to download game right now on the Nintendo Switch. Then they've got, coming later this year, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, a pair of $60 games that are going to be coming out in mid-November. That to me reminds me of the days of when they would come out for the 3DS and the DS in like a red blue or a gold silver, or as far as they would come out in a duo like that to store shelves. And I would have gamers tell me all over the place which one they would like better when they came out, or if they tried them both. Then you're going to have a new entry coming in late 2019, which is going to be considered part of the core, which is going to be considered part of the that I think was long overdue, and shows that they still have some properties left within the coffer of Nintendo that they can rely on and garner big sales.
If anything could stand up to Red Dead Redemption, it is Pokemon. Good for Nintendo. Good for them. And hey, that was part of my E3 predictions. So I'm gonna put an old mark on the whiteboard here. That
whiteboard is getting like a lot of action there.
Oh yeah. So they were really smart with this, because you're not getting, like, from what I understand, the Eevee and Pikachu games, they're remakes of Pokemon Yellow. So you have they follow you around. They've been trying to make Eevee into an icon for years. Like, she was always, or he, she, whatever gender the thing was, it was always they have plush toys, they have T-shirts, they have all this keychains, and it's all features Eevee. It's Eevee and Pikachu. So they've been trying to make Eevee into an icon, and it's awesome, and I love the way that they're teaming up with Niantic to let you transfer your Pokemon from Pokemon Go into the game. I don't know what kind of experience these new Switch games are going to be. I know that you use motion controls to capture the Pokemon with the Pokeball, or you can use. There's a new little special controller that you can use that's supposed to make it a lot easier. I can't remember what it's called, but if you look in the trailer for this, it looks like the random battle encounters are gone. So you're just walking through. I think you just encounter them out in the open, which is kind of cool. But how much of the catalog will be there? What can you get? What do you get to do? Is the gym system still in place? I know you can't. They said you won't be going to Johto, so I think you're just exploring the Kanto region. But how much of it are you going to be able to explore? And will this tie in at all to the core entry that's supposed to be hitting us in 2019? It's nice that they let us know that was happening. So my question now is how much is this core entry in 2019 going to tie into the Game Boy and Nintendo 3DS games? But are you much of a Pokemon fan? I know
my daughters are, that's for sure. I've
okay.
Obviously my days working in the video game industry, obviously I've had to deal with Pokemon a little bit here and there. I'm a casual fan of the series, but like you said, Eevee has been something that they've been trying to push for a long time, but has never quite gotten the same amount of love from the fan base, or anywhere near the fan base, and anywhere near the kind of love from the fan base as Pikachu has, because you associate Pikachu with Pokemon, just like seems like one goes with the other. It's just seemingly right with that. So Eevee is just someone that if you spoke to even a lot of casual gamers out there, they wouldn't even know who Eevee is.
Right. And Eevee was always one of those ones where you'd have to, Eevee could evolve based on mood, or you had to get a Moonstone or a Firestone. Usually you didn't get to choose those later evolutions until later in the game. And assuming you weren't one of those people that were like, oh, a stone, who can I use this on? And just use it on the first Pokemon you can find. You often didn't realize that you could use other stones, Water Stone, Firestone, to get Vaporeon and Furion, I think is the other one's name. Yeah, so I mean that's cool. I'm not a huge fan of Eevee, but I'm not opposed to playing with Eevee. But yeah, like I said, they need to give us more details. Not a lot is known about the game. Are we going to encounter the red or blue trainers? Are we going to have gyms? What is the experience going to be, and how will it play out? How long is it? Do we need to do motion controls to capture Pokemon? Can we just press a button, or are we going to have to do the thing where we tilt the Switch forward? How much of it is going to be accessible to people who don't like to move while they play gaming? And are we going to have to use the Pokemon Go accessibility options to get further in the game? And how many Pokemon are going to be available? Because I know there's probably over 1,000 now, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we'll see, man. I actually just read something interesting. The creators of the original Pokemon were answering some questions for fans, and I guess in the anime, there's only supposed to be, I want to say, a little over 100 episodes. It's going to end with Ash and Misty. It's going to show their kid, but I guess because it got so popular, they just ran it on and on and on, and that ending never happened. But they were saying that in Pokemon, there aren't any animals. So when you see people eating meat cooking on barbecue, they're actually eating Pokemon.
Okay.
Childhood ruin, man. I'm telling you.
But it does sound like a great idea. Obviously, kudos to Nintendo for actually, having this mapped out on when they wanted to bring out Pokemon as a buffer from the 1-2 punch that they had in 2017. The only thing I was concerned about was what you said earlier in regards to random battles, because I think random battles are a highlight of the Pokemon series, but that's just me. I think my kids also like that factor as well. But we'll have to see what battles are generated and how exciting that will be. I know a lot of people are very interested in it. I know my girls are, and I know a lot of people that are really into the Pokemon series will be buying Switches this holiday. What are your thoughts on Nintendo getting back into the Pokemon series with a lot of great announcements for the Nintendo Switch? Are you excited that Pokemon is coming big time, and in fact already here in a way with the new free-to-play game on Nintendo Switch? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos at yahoo.com, also as well, Humanity Media, Game Source, and Facebook and Twitter as well, on Facebook and Twitter as well. Are you excited about, are you gonna be getting a Nintendo Switch this year because of because of all the Pokemon stuff that's going on? Love to hear your thoughts on that and so much more. So just, send us a DM, send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Coming up next, we've got Rob McCallum in the middle of the Cosmic Crossfire. He's going to be talking about some of the worstest. I know that's not the right word to say. I know that's not the correct English, but that's the way he wanted me to phrase it. What is the worstest idea in pop culture? He's going to share his thoughts right after the break. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. And we're back to close out the show. Once again, it's Gerald Glassford along with my good friend Josh Peterson. We want to thank you so much for sticking around and enjoying the program. Want to thank Rob McCallum as always for stepping into the middle of the Cosmic Crossfire. Check out all the great things he's got going on today on the robmccallumfilms.com area. Also as well, Rob McCallum Films on Facebook. And then also we want to thank Jessica Boggs and Out of Curiosity from the TV Ratings Guide. You got to check out all their work today on tvratingsguide.com and all the great stuff that they're doing there, because, hey, there's no better place to check out what's going on in the world of television than the TV Ratings Guide. Josh, before we head on out, just want to quickly say once again, man, I know we dealt this on the subject way back. I know we dealt with this before on a subject in the not too distant past, but Ubisoft just cannot just stay on the straight and narrow. They've got to be doing these things that they just don't learn from their bad habits, my friend. Because what got leaked and what got actually just confirmed as far as a game coming out here in the near future, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Creed set in the ancient Greek times. We knew it was going to come at some point in time. I know that's been heavily rumored now for at least a couple years, but I was hoping it would be a ways off, maybe a 2019, maybe a 2020 title, because they just brought out Assassin's Creed last year. You played it, Assassin's Creed Origins. You really liked it. When the series started to really wane was when they were bringing it out each and every year with a new rendition, and the quality started to go off, and also the glitches and the production quality started to go off from there. Your thoughts on an Assassin's Creed Odyssey coming this year to consoles, and do you think it should be called Assassin's Creed Overkill instead?
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know enough about it to make the claim. I know we're going to see some footage at E3 or get some more details about the game. But for all we know, I mean, they could have been working on this at the same time they were working on Origins. And we don't even know if it's going to come out this year. It could be first quarter of next year. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would like to see a game with Bayek and his wife. Like, I would like to see maybe them kind of in this game in some form. From what I understand, like, you get to choose the gender of your character in this game, so that makes me wonder. And it's you get to choose what kind of dialogue you want to say. So I'm are we going to get more of an Elder Scrolls experience, or are we going to get the Assassin's Creed
Mass Effect?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how much of a story is there going to be, or is this just going to be like a choose your own adventure novel? It sounds, in theory, it sounds cool, but I don't. Like I said, I don't know. But as far as like the setting of ancient Greece, there's a lot of architectures, a lot of things that I think it'd be cool to do, to run and jump across the rooftops. But again, remember when we talked about Assassin's Creed Origins, I liked it, but it didn't take the story anywhere. So what are they going to offer us this time around that's going to make the game feel like it's going forward. Because yes, we are going to get fatigued again, but maybe not. Maybe if they can show us something to show that the game has a starting point, has a stopping point, and it's going to take the overarching narrative and it's going to move it ahead to the next square. Are they going to give us that? Because if not, if it's just one of those games that we just play just because, just like Origins was fun, but it didn't do anything for the overall story. If they give us another game like that, I don't know, man. I don't think that they're going to have some of their audience is going to start dropping, especially with we'll see what comes out of Xbox, but there's so much more out there to play, especially around, if they do their normal fall release, which I hope they don't. I hope they wait till like February or something. But they really got to show us something that is exciting for us as gamers and as longtime fans of the series in order to keep the goodwill going that they built up during the release of Origins.
Because Origins came out with a great big buffer between previous Assassin's Creed installments. When the series started to falter, it faltered because they were doing so much each and every year. Like anything, Call of Duty, any other series that comes out year after year after year, you're bound to lose some interest. Interest will begin to wane amongst gamers. It's just something that's going to happen. It's inevitable. And they really started to get things right when they made a delay or at least a couple years, 3-4 year buffer between Assassin's Creed titles and a 2-3 year buffer between Assassin's Creed titles. And it looks like that's not going to be the case now. They're going to go back to either yearly or close to yearly renditions of the series. And that's when they get themselves in trouble. Ubisoft does, is when they bring out Far Cry's too close to each other, when they bring out, like we've seen, Assassin's Creed too close to each other. The Division 2 is already on its way. We've also got probably For Honor 2 also probably coming on its way, I bet. They need to go ahead and keep coming up with great original properties instead of just relying, again, singularly on repeating the same games over and over and over. Assassin's Creed Overkill or Assassin's Creed Overdo It, whatever you want to say. It's just way too much Assassin's Creed at this point. They need to take a break again while there's still goodwill created by Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play it still, but I like to play the series, but I don't. I play it simply now because it's just something to play. I no longer really care about the stories because it's all kind of the same. So I want to see something that's really going to move the game, the series as a whole forward. And if they don't offer me that, I don't know how much longer I'll stick around the franchise for.
I don't blame you, sir. I don't blame you a bit. What are your thoughts on Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Is it too soon to bring out another rendition of the Assassin's Creed series? Are you excited for Assassin's Creed Odyssey and you want it to come out this year, or do you want it to come out early next year, or do you want it to wait until maybe the end of 2019 maybe the end of 2019 at the earliest? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. So Josh, we're heading on out here, but we've got a lot of great things to talk about over the course of the week. I'm hopefully going to sit down, Rob McCallum. We're going to hopefully hash out and talk about doing a solo, doing a spoiler cast of Solo, and obviously trying to talk about all the things that are going on with that movie. I know you hopefully you will be able to drop one of your great episodes of Topicocalypse or What About This or something from Humanica Media on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel, Pop Culture Cosmos channel as well. Looking forward to that this week. And then we've got at the end of the week on the PCC Multiverse, we've got our look at The Incredibles 2. It's coming to theaters at the end of this week. I'm very excited for that. And also E3 is going to be right around the corner.
Yep, E3. I'm gonna be there, so I'll be dropping some stuff, talking about interviews and some reacts. So definitely be looking for that. But yeah, no, a lot of exciting stuff, and I guess we'll solve the mystery of what Microsoft's given us or not given us, and the future will be decided.
The future will be decided, and on Friday we're going to talk about that, about the conferences that are coming up that weekend. Our next week's episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos will recap a lot of those conferences and look forward to the week ahead at E3. So for Josh Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.